Good morning, everyone. So in the last tutorial, we have already used in some primitive geometries like cone, cylinder, and finish the face mask, and also using curve to create this kind of detail inside your model. For this time, the things I would like to do is to create the neck and also the spine and shoulders. So that will be the major topic, major goal for this time. So let's get started. First things I want to do is to import some reference image. How can we do that? We can go to this camera and go to find background and choosing the reference image you want to use. And still, once you imported the reference image, we still can change that later. For this time, I want to put them in the front side, so we can go to the camera, background, and reference image for z-axis based on the z-axis to put the reference image. And I want to import these skeletons. I don't need them to be put in the center, so we can move them to the side. And also you can use in this button to change the opacity of the image. Okay, so pretty much done. For the first part, first things I want to do is about the spine. So let's take a look about the shape of the spine. Basically, it looks like this. It looks like a S shape. So for the neck part, it's pretty straight. And then on the back side, it will be a little bit bended. And then bend to this side, bend to the front side. And one more time, we have a more probably curve-like shape right here. So, and for the front view, well, as far as you can see, this area is thinner. And on the S part, on this area is wider. And also on the neck part is wider. So let's follow this way to make the sculptures. And if you remember, in the last time, we already have the using curve tools to do the pipe right here. So we will using the same technique to do the spines. So you can go to find curve tools right here. But for this time, we cannot using the object right here. Yeah, you can do that, but I don't think it's a good option. We can do that manually. So for this time, I will do that manually. Create a customized section for our curve. And also we don't need this curve anymore, so you can just simply delete the curve. Let's clear all. So the preset or the things you did in the last time will be removed. Okay. So let's start to do the customized sections for the spine. Let's save this file, Ctrl and S, save this file. And then open up a new one. Go to the sculpting mode. For this time, I want to use cylinder. The size doesn't matter, but the proportion matters. So for this time, for this one, I want to make the section for the spine. I still need a reference image, so let's go to find the reference image back. And I want to move them aside. Oh, not this one, here. Okay. So let's take a look about the section. Basically, this is a cylinder-like shape, and also it has two little wings. And on the side, also we have this kind of things, this little wing on the back side. So for this section, it will have, well, one wing on the left side, another wing on the right side, and finally one last wing on the back side. So that will be my target to finish. So let's choose apply, and let's choose yes. For this one, let's try to turn on the symmetries. Let's go to symmetry, toggle symmetry, and make sure you have turned on the symmetries. Okay, let's see. Let's go press your spacebar and go to find any one of the brush that you choose. Okay, so now we have. Let's take a look. I don't think we see the symmetry plane, so we have to check that right here. Let's using X and also the Y. So let's start to do that. First thing is I want this part can be wider. It doesn't have to be very precise. After all, it's an organic scene. Alright? Okay, probably just something like that. And also just using move tool to make the middle part shrink. Okay, so now it looks pretty much like the section of the spine. For this part, it doesn't look good, so let's using fill to fill this gap, fill this area. Okay, pretty much done. So next thing is I want to use in Primitive again, let's using cube. Okay, let's flatten this one. And move them to the side. Smaller, smaller. Once you finish choosing apply, let's go to the front view. Now let's using move tool to change the shape. Okay, looks good. Let's go to using fill and fill the border right here. For this part, let's just simply using fill to smooth this area. Let's go to front. And go to the back view. Okay, pretty much done. So one last thing is let's go to find the back wings. Let's using cube again. Alright, let's bring them to the center and rotate. Hold on your control key and you can rotate them in 45 or 90 degree. Okay, so this one can be bigger. Choosing apply. Let's go to the right view and then start using move tool to morph the shape. Alright, so now let's go to using fill. Smooth the border here. Alright, so let's using airbrush to add on some more detail here. I think we can turn on the Z symmetry as well, so that we don't have to draw 2 times. Okay, since this is just one section of spine, so it doesn't have to be very detailed. I will stop right here. Let's use in fill. Okay, so in the middle part, we can somehow move them down. Make a hole-like shape here. Okay, so that's it. Let's save this file. And let's call this one spine sections. Okay. So you can take a look. If you want to add your model to the default assets, you can press this plus icon and go to find the model you want to use. But for now, it only accepts this kind of format, including OBJ, LWO, FBX, STL. So for now, we cannot do that. But we can just simply export this one to OBJ file. Before I export this one, I want to do some adjustment. That's the final adjustment, trust me. Okay, pretty much done. So once we finish, let's go to File, Export, and you can just simply export the scenes. Another way is that we can go to here, right click, go to the layer, go to right click, export, and choosing export the scene. Both of them are fine. So for this time, I think we can just choosing export scenes. And I want to call this one spline sections. And it will tell you the total number of the faces. Basically, this one doesn't have any typology. It's just numerous faces. So you can define how much detail, how many detail you want to keep. For now, it will reduce 50% of the detail. So as far as you can see, the final total polygon polyfaces will be 20. I think 262226. Anyway, you can count that by yourself. Alright, I will choose in OK and start to export. So once you finish, let's do some experiment. Let's turn off this one. Let's go back to here. Turn off the layer, create a new one. Let's go to the default asset, the curve asset. Go place this plus icon. Go to find the model you want to use, the spline sections. Okay, so now we have. So basically, I think it looks fine, but I hope that it can be bigger. So let's click OK. Let's have other space. Okay, so I think this looks fine. So for the space between every section, if you set that one as 1, I think it's fine. Okay, so pretty much done. Let's try. Let's press spacebar and call out the curve tool. Let's go to the right view and start using the curve tool. I don't need the Z symmetry and Y symmetry anymore. Okay, and also let's change that one to spline. Okay, I think this one is inverted, so probably the direction is not right, but we can adjust that later. Just draw an inverted one and rotate, so it will be an easier solution. Otherwise, we have to go back to the setting here to redo that. As far as I can see right now, it was let's say it's a different direction, so we have to fix that manually. Anyway, so that's about how to using the curve to create a spline. So once you are ready, we can go back to our model and create a spline for our skulls. Alright guys, so now we can go back to our skull model. So first things, I want to create a new layer for putting our spine model. Let's call this one spine. Then let's go to the front view. Take a look about the shape of the spine. It looks like an S shape. It has it has 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 different peaks on this section. So which means that we have to create at least probably 8 points at joints for the curve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Okay, 9. So actually 9. Let's try to do that, okay? Let's turn off the rest part, or you can turn them into transparent so that you won't draw them anymore. Let's go to the chain, choosing the section here. And we can start to draw. Unfortunately, if you create a very high detail section, your file will become super heavy for this section. So use that carefully and be passionate about that. Okay, so this is the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one, eighth one, ninth one. Okay, so that's it. So next things, we can try to using the editing tool to delete some unnecessary joint. So let's go to find this one. I think we don't need that. So let's delete. Okay. Now let's go to the side view, right view. Let's take a look. Right now it looks like okay, it become a completely symmetry one. It is okay. I like this shape. So, but we have to adjust the curve of this spine. So let's choose in sphere, Let's move a little bit. Okay, and also for these two, the first 2 points, it has to be bigger. So let's turn that one to probably 2 size bigger. And also here, choose this one, 2 size bigger, 2 times bigger. Okay, and for the middle part, I think it is okay, but it has to be bended a little bit more. Okay, probably something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Looks. If you are not so sure, let's go back to here and take a look about how it looks like. All right, pretty much the same, but a little bit too bended. But it's okay. I will just keep like this. But we have to change the proportions and also the scale. So for this part, 2 times bigger. And for the end part, I think it can be smaller. So let's type in 0.8. Okay, I think this one looks fine now, but we still have to go to the front view to take a look, because right now I think some part they are mirror object. So we have to move inside. Make sure they are located in the center. It doesn't have to be very precise, but more or less, please try to make them located in the center. Okay, something like this. I think this is pretty much done. And what else? Let's take a look. Probably we can try to rotate the joint. Rotate this one to the back side, so make sure the back wing is on the back side. Okay, I think this one is pretty much done. So once you finish, let's press apply and make this one become a real voxel model. It will take some time. Okay, finish. So this is the final one. Still, we can use in some other different tool, different brush to edit that. However, if you do that kind of thing too much, it will lose the detail. So for example, we can still use the move tool. Let's go to the right view and to change the curve. Okay, but it's not like that kind of, let's say, array or array tools. It's more like using the morph tool to change the overall shape of the spline. So the idea is different. So if you want to make your geometry more precisely, I would say probably using the curve tool will be a better solution. But if you just want to adjust the overall geometry, yeah, this one can work. Okay, so now let's try to using fill to deal with the detail of your spine. I think this part probably because of the symmetry, so it has some pretty weird stuff right here. We can just simply using fill to fix that. Some parts they are overlapping, but it's okay. We can fix that. Also, I think we can somehow connect them together. Okay. Alright, so pretty much done. Let's give this spine model a material, probably like this, and move them to the center of your skull. Let's press spacebar, call out the quick access bar, and using transform, and move them to here. Still, you can adjust the center. So I want to make the pivot center to center mass. Let's move them to here. Let's go to the right view. Move them up, just like this. Okay, so let's turn on everything and take a look about the final result. For this one, I think I don't need that anymore. Okay, so that's it. That's about our spine. For the next part, let's try to create the shoulder. So, for the next part about the neck and the shoulder, it will look like this. Basically, it's not completely the same, just like the skeleton. It's the mixture between the skeleton and also the muscle. So we have to create one vertical pipe, one vertical structure, and one horizontal structure. And finally, using another different tool, which calls spines, or I forget that one, probably the muscle brush to create this kind of muscle geometries. So that will be the last part. Let's get started. Let's go back to here and let's create a new layer. For now, if you want, you can somehow merge some of the layer. For example, like the decal, I think it can be merged with the earphone. So let's choosing ear decal, right click, and choosing merge with. Let's choosing earphone. Okay, so this one will be done. Also for the pipe, I think we can merge them together because all of them they are just like metal stuff. So let's right click, choosing merge with, and choosing pipe. Okay, so this way, once you merge them together, somehow it will save the size of your file. Alright, so let's create a new layer. And I will call this one shoulder. For the shoulder, first things I want to create the horizontal skeletons. So probably it will be located around here. Let's take a look, go to the front view. Probably around here. Okay, so let's go to using the primitive to do that. Using cylinder. Let's move them to the side, make them bigger. Oh, right now it's not located in the center. It is okay. Let's click to the center mass, reset space. Sorry, let's redo that again. Move tool. I don't need this. Okay, let's see. Right, it's not in the center. Okay, it seems like it's a little bit huge. Okay, it's okay. Let's just scale down. And rotate this one. Hold on your control key. Rotate this one 90 degrees. Move them to the right positions. Scale down. Longer. Pretty much down. Let's move the skull to here. And move the skeletons to here. And put them to the shoulder positions. I think it doesn't have to be so long. So you can make them shorter. And probably a little bit higher, just like this. Okay, sorry, not higher. Let's rotate this one to this shape. Alright. Cool. Since the model we use is a female model, so I think the shoulder doesn't have to be so wide. We can make them probably a little bit shortened, just like this. Okay, so once you finish, let's go to the right view. Also, let's rotate a little bit, probably like this. Okay. Alright, pretty much done. So that's the things. For the next part, I want to just using apply, make this one become a real geometry. Change the material to probably rusty metal, and then start to using move tool to change the shape. Make this one looks like a bones. Let's go to the front view and start to do the morph. Make the middle part thinner. Go to the top view. And I don't want to touch the rest of the part, so let's turn them to transparent. Okay, something like this. Then let's start to using the fill tool or smooth tool. It will be faster. Make the border become a round joint, circular joint. Okay, something like this. Then let's use the move tool to change the overall shape. Okay, so finally let's using grow to extrude this area, make this one part wider. Okay, pretty much done. So next things, let's try to create some sci-fi patterns on the bones. After all, the things we are working on is a cyberpunk skull models. Let's take a look about our reference image. So as far as you can see, I have some crease on the pattern and also some bolt on that. Still, we can use in the default assets inside 3D Code to do that. So let's take a look. Let's go to find some Greeble tools to do that. Probably this one will be nice. Sorry, not good. Not that good. Probably Yeah, that one. Let's rotate. Them to here. Okay, let's choose in. Alright, let's choose in apply. So now we have it. Are we also here? Let's do one more. Okay, from there, we can also use in subtract, choosing apply. Okay, something like that. Okay, so now let's start to do the manually work. So for this part, it's just really about your own design. So there's no explanation. Please try to do that by yourself. Okay, just like this. So once we finish this one, let's try to do another one. I want to copy one more on the back side, so we can just simply place this duplicate icon to copy one more shoulder. And then let's choose in the pivot to rotate this model to the back side. Just like this. Okay. And let's go to the top view. For this one, we can still using the move tool to change the shape. And don't forget to lock the front part. Just like this. Alright, so now let's start to deal with the vertical one. I want to merge them together. So let's choose merge, choosing first the shoulder, and merge them together. So now we have it. Let's create a new one. Let's call this one VSH. That means vertical shoulder. For this one, I don't want to spend time to deal with the manually drawing. So I will just simply using the default model we have, probably like this. So right now, as far as you can see, it's totally distorted. It has been flattened, and also the length is not right. It's okay, let's reset the space. And also to the center mask, to main axis, reset space, auto scale. And make sure they go back to the original point. Now let's rotate that into 90 degrees. Hold on your Ctrl key to rotate. Let's go to the side view. And rotate a little bit, make them bigger. For this one, this is the connection between the shoulder bone and also the neck and the head. So let's move them to here. I want them to rotate a little bit. So probably it will look like this. Okay, so once you're finished, choosing apply. And let's assign a material for that. Okay. No, sorry for that. I'm choosing, I'm choosing the subtract. I have to choose in add. Okay, so now we have. Let's go to the right view. Probably this one is not located in the right position, but we can adjust the vertical bone later. Let's go to the right view. Move them up. Rotate a little bit. Okay, so now we have. Choosing apply. So now we have the vertical bones. So right now I think the joint doesn't look good. This part looks pretty weird. So probably we can create one more horizontal bones between these 8 bones. For that one, or you can just simply create a joint. So for this time, I think I want to use in a joint, and also we can try to using our eyeballs right here. Let's turn on the eyeballs and probably copy, move them down. The eyeball looks fairly okay, but not that good at all. Alright, that's okay. Let's create one more. Let's create a joint, a new layer, which name joint. And for the joint, let's just simply using the sphere to do that. Let's go to find here, the sphere, and let's bring the sphere to the center. So to center mass, to the 0, point. Okay, so now we have. Let's move them to the side. Reset the space, reset the axis. Make sure everything is on the right positions. Sorry, let's redo that. Auto scale. Okay, make them bigger. Okay, take a look about the typology of the sphere. I hope that they can stay in the vertical side. Alright, so let's move them to the right side and left side. Let's using the sphere as the joint to connect these 2 bones together. Probably like this. And also, once you finish, let's choose apply. And for the backside, let's using the same way to do that. Once you finish, apply. Okay, pretty much done. So the next things I want to do, for sure, just like what we did before, let's start to deal with the detail. Let's assign a new material for the joint, and we can use Ingrebo to deal with the detail. I want to use in this one. Let's rotate. Make this one longer. For this part, it really depends on your own design, so you don't have to completely follow my operations. You can do that by yourself. Okay, so now we have. Let's go to another brush. Let's choose in probably airbrush or something else. For this one, right now they have been joined together, but I think we can try to create some detail between the vertical bone and the joint. So let's try to do that. Let's copy the shoulder and copy the V as edge. Right click, subtract from, choosing the joint. So it will cut off from the joint. For this one, let's do the same things. Subtract from, choosing the joint. Okay, so now we have. Let's take a look. So now we have a very beautiful holes right here. And the things I want to do is to use fill to probably make the border a little bit smoother. And let's take a look. Okay, so we can have this kind of effect. I like that. For this part, let's do the same things. Make the border wider. Just like this. Here we have a hole. I don't think this is a good one. So we can just simply using fill to fill this hole. But in the end, we still will merge them together, so don't worry about that. Okay, pretty much done. So let's merge these three layers together. Right click, merge, shoulder. Right click, merge, shoulder. Alright, so now we have. So we have this kind of border. I like that. And I want to create using the airbrush to create some kind of pattern on that. So let's try to using airbrush to create some organic patterns. Make this sculpture looks like a mixture between machine and organic things. That will be my target for this one. Okay, let's also try to using stencil to do some beautiful patterns. Alright. Okay, so for the skeleton, I think it is pretty much done. We can make the shoulder a little bit wider. I think right now it looks a little bit too short. Let's change the pivot to the center mass and move this one up. Make this one okay a little bit longer. Yeah, it's okay. It's acceptable. Okay, so let's turn on everything. Alright, it looks nice. So next part about the muscle. Let's take a look about our reference. For this area, we can do that later. Do this one with your probably rib, and also we still have to add on some skin so that it will look like the mixture between machine and the probably flash, that kind of thing. But for today, the last things I want to do is about the muscle. So let's try to do that. Okay, so for now, I want to create muscle between the head and the shoulder. It will look like this. Basically, it will be composed with the flesh and also some probably mechanical stuff. So that will be the final effect I want to have. Let's go back to blend 3D Code. So how can we do that? Very easy. First thing, let's create a new layer. Let's call this one muscle. Then we can use in three different tools to do that. First things for sure, we still can keep using curve. Another one is that we can use in snake and spike. For this time, I want to use in spike. So for the spike, basically you can just choose in whatever different kind of section you want and to create the basically the different type of curve. So for this time, I think I want to use in probably first things we can use in this one. This one looks a little bit similar to muscle. So let's go to the front view and let's enlarge the size of your brush and start to draw. Okay, all right, it looks okay. Let's do that again. Probably make more, make the muscle looks like fibers. Let's go to the back view. Okay, something like this. So once we have, let's move them using the pivot, the transform pivot, move them to the center. Let's copy one more. Copy. And let's rotate them to 180 degrees. So it will look like this. Once you finish, let's merge them together. Merge with and choosing muscle 1. Merge them together. So now we have the muscle. Second thing, let's give this muscle model some texture, probably like this. And then we can start to using fill to deal with this kind of detail. For here, I'd like to use in smooth to merge them together. We can turn on the symmetry on the z-axis so that we don't have to draw them twice. Okay, something like that. Next thing is let's use a move tool to make the end part a little bit smaller. Let's go to the top view. Make this part smaller. And also here, I hope that can be smaller. Okay, so now it looks like muscle, pretty good. Okay, so now we have. Next things we can try to using another different type of chain access to deal with the detail. So let's using the snake again, and for this time I want to using the tube. Sorry, not this one. It's using that one. Okay, cool. So just make them looks like the, let's say, sorry, I don't need the z-axis mirror. Just make them looks like some kind of mixture between flash and organic things. Okay, cool. So I think it's pretty much done. So last thing is let's using stencil, or you can simply using a different type of brush. For example, like the stroke brush, I think this one, the hair brush, is pretty good for create that kind of muscle. Sorry, not this one. Let's choosing the airbrush and choosing the hairbrush. Okay, let's create this kind of texture on that. You can use in engraving to do this kind of texture. Okay, pretty much now. So now let's turn on everything and take a look about the final result. Okay, some part, I think there is some little, very little voxel show up right here. That is okay. We can just simply cut off them. Sometimes it happens. Alright, so let's go to the perspective. Take a look about our final result. If you don't want to see the reference image anymore, you can just simply go to background and choosing edit image placement. Turn off the opacity and it will disappear. Hide all. Okay, so that's the final one. That's the process for this time. Basically, we're using the curve tool to create the spine and also using the default asset inside 3D Code to create the neck and shoulder. Finally, using the tools of snake to create this kind of geometry, the muscle-like geometry. For sure, there are still some detail we didn't finish, like the muscle detail with the spine. Right now they are intersected. It doesn't look good, but it is okay. I think you can deal with this kind of detail by yourself. So for this point, I will stop right here. So please try to using the technique we have told you in this tutorial and finish the final model like this. So see you next time.